Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your host and moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Huber.
Hey, everyone.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hey.
And Brandon Jones.
Hey as well.
Hey as well.
Hey to you, Kyle.
So this is a thing that I frequently have to do throughout the year. I have to tell you that we recorded this podcast on Tuesday night. There's an event happening Thursday night. You may be listening to this podcast after Thursday night. We're not going to talk about the Nintendo Switch reveal. This happened. We're talking about these things before that has happened.
We will not be talking about it in this episode, but we will have on the YouTube channel our pre-show and post-show analysis.
Live reactions.
Yeah.
There will be much analysis of everything Nintendo Switch. So check out youtube.com/easyallies for the people sitting on this couch. We're going to be talking about the Switch, simply not on this podcast this week, and then next week we'll probably even talk about all that stuff too. Boom.
Boom.
You're not just... No.
Sing it. Yeah, don't tease them. Don't
How
tease
many
them like
times
that.
am I going to keep singing that? Because we're still going to do that leading up. There's still going to be
March.
speculation and rumors.
Yeah, we still
stuff
have a
leading
few
up
more
to
months.
launch. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to do one?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Hubert,
No news,
please-
no song.
No news, no song. Come on, Laura Dale. Roll the die for us. 3. Hubert picks himself. Hubert, you get the level 1 prove it ticket.
Sweet.
It's all yours.
The subject of heated debate last week.
Yeah, and I just don't even deal with it. So now let's begin corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Platypodes is pronounced platypodes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
If we want to get into that later, we can.
we're not. I mean, it's platypi. We're sticking with it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are sticking with it. But platypi is a real word in the dictionary. Platypodes is a theoretical word based on what you think the plural should be.
Oh, theoretical. Wow. Volition is the developer of the Red Faction games that we couldn't remember. Yeah. Today known as Deep Silver Volition. Didn't know that's part
I
of
didn't
their-
realize that they had changed the name
Yeah,
officially, huh?
that's official. Weird fact that a lot of people wanted to share is that Red Faction is in the same universe as Saints Row.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Red Faction?
Yeah. 'cause
I
they're-
know
'cause
that
they're
the
all-
new
'cause
game
it's all
is.
Volition. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Shared universe.
Blew my mind.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that?
Oh yeah, just for fun because they have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're making Saints Row, it's like why not make it the same universe?
Yeah.
In Red Faction, you're like, oh well, we got a lot of baggage now of that world existing. But if you're Saints Row, why not? Tales of Berseria, that's a game that I skipped. Always miss one when we're talking about big games. That is January 24th. Killer Instinct Season 3 is over. I said it's coming up. No, it's all done. It's wrapped. They're still adding things to it, but
So this
Season
is like
3
that
all
box copy. That's what threw you off.
over. Because Season 2 is with Games with Gold this month,
Okay.
and that is the box copy, Season 2.
Oh.
And then Season 3, the one with Battletoads and General Rom and all that, that is over. All those characters have been added. Okay, so we have some Mass Effect Andromeda lore. Here we go. You are a Pathfinder trying to find a new home for humanity, but you're not the first Pathfinder in Andromeda. You're part of a large 20,000 crew of people making a 600-year trip. Your dad, Alec Ryder, who is also a Pathfinder, has already been in Andromeda for a while. How long that while has been in has yet to be revealed. So we don't know how long our dad, Alec Ryder, has been in Andromeda, but we're one of.
Is there like cryo sleep? You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's with a 600 years
Cool.
of sleep.
So
I thought it was
here's the thing, because I dug into this after the podcast
Yeah.
too. Like, basically, this fleet or convoy or whatever you want to call it, they left like right around the end of Mass Effect 2. So they don't know anything that happened. They don't know what choice the player made. They have no way of communicating with the Milky Way.
Cool.
It's like completely broken off from all of that.
Yeah.
Tie in that connection to Mass Effect 2 as much as you can.
Yeah.
BioWare.
Don't tell Brad though. Brad still thinks he has to finish 3.
That's me too.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, I'd never finished it.
Here's the thing, it's irrelevant. That's what they just said. The end of 3 is irrelevant. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't do it.
Finish the fight.
Let's end correction music though. One last update. Mass Effect Andromeda will release March 21st. There was some debate whether we thought it would be canceled.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah. I stuck to my guns and it's coming. Cool. Sorry, what'd you say, Hubert?
It's really soon.
March 21st?
It's like 2 months.
No. Oh, I guess
Just
so.
not, yeah.
It's a
just
little bit over
months.
2 months, yeah.
That seems really fast.
So,
Probably the same day as the Switch.
I mean, I don't mean to
No,
bring...
Switch will probably be on a Friday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's going to be 15th, March 5th. We should have done a bet on release date. Hubert, I mean, I don't mean to start a new podcast with last week's news, but we were pretty down on Andromeda hype-wise last week. Where are you at?
Positively medium.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what we needed. We needed a positively medium.
Positively medium.
Okay.
I think I know I never finished 3. It just came out at a time when I was like saddled with other things. Always intended to play through it. Didn't love it as much as I loved 2 from what I played, but I have such strong feelings for Mass Effect 1 and 2 that, you know, I'm excited to go back and play 3 and play this one too. Hopefully I can catch up before then.
Yeah.
Because I was so committed. I read the books, man.
No.
I read
one book.
I read a book that is a prequel to Mass Effect 1 before I played Mass Effect 1. That's how hyped I was.
Whoa.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing
What
that was
did you
cool
read?
about some of the books, at least the one I read, like where they actually were written by one of the guys on the team,
The, like,
So,
lead
an
writer.
actual writer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like just some weirdo like making stuff up about the Mass Effect
Yeah.
universe.
It's like
Yeah.
straight canon.
So there's actually
Hard canon.
if I remember right, was it 2 or 3? I forget which like bit it was in between. But yeah, like when I played the game, the next game after that book, like I saw like small references to characters that were in that book. So that was kind of fun.
Same with 1. It was all about like Saren was his the villain or Sarah?
Absolutely.
It was all about
S-A-R-E-N.
Saren and the main commander, the main like your protege, your guy. I mean,
Oh.
like your leader.
Oh, Commander Shepard.
No,
No. That,
the guy
yeah.
Shepard works for.
Yeah.
No idea,
I forget
man.
his
I'm
name.
no
I don't know
idea.
his
It's been
name either.
so long
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
like 5 years.
It kind of kills me that no matter what, you know, we'll all have very different characters that make very different decisions.
But did you hear what they did with the male-female thing? It's brilliant. They're twins. It's a brother and sister.
Yeah.
So whichever one you pick, then the other one is still out there doing stuff and they exist in the universe.
Cool.
This is what I'm not digging.
Why?
Because no matter what our characters are, we all have the same dad named Alec Ryder.
That's kind of a cheesy name.
That's like we all have to go find our dad, Alec Ryder. No matter what your Mass Effect journey is, no matter what yours is, we're all finding Alec Ryder. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, but the way you go on that journey will be different.
Okay.
You know?
It all ends with Alec Ryder.
But everything in between leading up to Alec Ryder.
It's Ryder with a Y, Huber.
Ryder.
Oh, God. So maybe one of the reasons I'm procrastinating, my favorite way to start a show is with a game announcement. We don't have that this week. We have a game unannouncement this week.
Oh yeah.
The big headline this week is that Scalebound has been canceled. Please allow me to read the press release.
Oh, yeah.
After careful deliberation, Microsoft Studios has come to the decision to end production for Scalebound. We're working hard to deliver an amazing lineup of games for our fans this year, including Halo Wars 2, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, and other great experiences. For more information on our 2017 plans, please visit this website, which kind of recapped the 2016 for them and talked more about 2017, mostly talking about Scorpio in addition to those things and third-party
Well, they
stuff.
didn't talk about that at all. They barely devoted
One
a
sentence.
sentence.
You're right,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
sentence, and it's like, hey,
Closure
Halo Wars 2 is
of
coming
this
up.
game, yeah.
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 That's
State of
what that
Decay
was.
2 in 2017. Interesting.
Sorry?
State of Decay 2 in 2017. I thought we might have to wait a little longer for that, but
I mean, we'll talk about each of those games individually. It is something I want to do.
Yeah. It's not that exciting of a thing to bring up when you say, hey, we just took away this like really cool concept of a game. You know, and you know, like I felt like E3, this past E3, like didn't really prove it to me. Like that demo wasn't very exciting, but I still in my head was like, oh, they're gonna pull it off. It's platinum. It's a cool concept. It'll, you know, it's gotta be cool. And especially after like some of the things, you know, we were talking about, like some of the things Microsoft said in the past about, oh, what we've seen behind closed doors, this is going to be awesome. And then, you know, to say, okay, you're not getting this, but you're going to get State of Decay 2. And I'm like, I don't know that I'm interested in even playing State of Decay 2.
Sure.
And then like Halo Wars 2 is in a weird spot because it's like, I'm pretty confident that's going to be an excellent game. But it's this weird, like, cross-section niche of people that are going to care about it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
It's like not all the Halo fans are going to care about it.
We had a hard time pinning
Not
it
all
down
the
that
strategy
week,
fans
last
are going to
week.
care about it because it's designed for consoles,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, I think you're defining it well. We do. We tried to discuss this last week. We're like, what is its home? And I think Blood kind of nailed it here. It's a very strange cross section. of these people who kind of care together. If they
Yeah.
kind of care about Halo and they kind of care about RTS games,
Yeah.
they're there together.
Tough sell.
All right, you know what? Yeah, I plan to do that later. Let's. Yeah, no, I do want to talk about Scalebound first and foremost before we tear apart that announcement, because this is kind of, you don't see a cancellation like this. This is almost historically unprecedented. Sure, you see bigger games get canceled, but not this late, and you see smaller games get canceled this late, but not this big. This is a huge game that was canceled very late. It was at Gamescom in August. You could
E3.
and people could go play this game. And for it to be in 2 E3s back to back and present, like have a CG in.
This
like,
had a better
trailer
demo at
announcement.
E3 than Final Fantasy 15.
Did it?
The Titan demo, dude. Remember that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sure,
Like,
sure.
like
You
the
know-
Scalebound demo wasn't like amazing, you know. Like I wasn't like that didn't like sell the game for
But it
me.
didn't
But like
bury
the Final
it.
Fantasy 15 Titan thing didn't even work. Like
Yeah, I
we
hear
couldn't
what
even
you're saying.
tell. The guy playing it didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
And then here we are. And was there any rumors? Was there anything? Well, we kind of knew that was going to happen. There were rumblings that Scalebound was in trouble.
I can say not that I was aware of.
Not that I was aware of it all.
I feel like in retrospect you could say, but I don't think for real.
Yeah, it's a retrospect.
I don't think there was any real hint. It's like, oh, they're going to cancel this game. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
They're hyping it up.
It is also, I'd say, the second big showpiece game. And when I say a showpiece, it means like at E3, they're showing off this game. They're proud of it. Fable Legends, also canceled. Huge game. People are playing it at shows. Also got canceled in this generation.
But that one at least it was showed a bunch of times. It was about a year and a half where they were running the same demo, and it was kind of it started to feel a little troublesome. And you're dealing with the Fable franchise, and so it's like, oh, you got a lot to prove. If like you're going to try to excite people from that franchise, there's not a lot's been going on there. With Scalebound, it's like new IP, new concept. You know, every time we saw something new, it seemed on the scale of where we should be at that point, based on when it was announced.
I think the thing is, I mean, and both companies were really guilty of this. I think when this new generation came up, they were so eager to announce games
Oh, yeah.
that this literally vaporware was announced, like the Phantom Dust thing that apparently never really existed in a huge form.
Right.
The Black Tusk Studios thing where they like backpedaled and said, "Oh, this isn't actually a game." You know, and
Crackdown's really fuzzy at the moment.
Crackdown was there
When is it
along
coming
with
out?
them.
And what version of that is it going to be when it comes out?
like, do we really believe Crackdown's actually still gonna come out? Like, it keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and now multiplayer only first, but then that got pushed. Like, what is happening there?
Yeah.
And then, even Sea of Thieves.
Sea of
which
Thieves is the last
You
game
know,
they listed.
I hope that game comes out. But what they brought to E3 was like a very small vertical slice chunk demo of ship combat that's not connected to anything else that would be in that game.
Sure.
So there's no real proof that that's going to come together and work.
And what's really interesting about this conversation right now is we're talking about those games. We're not talking about Scalebound in that particular instance. We wouldn't be having that conversation if Scalebound wasn't just canceled. Right. And it's just adding doubt. When something like this happens, it just adds doubt, I think.
That's what I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Doubt.
Tell me.
Doubting Microsoft in so many ways on so many levels. Like fans doubting Microsoft, developers doubting Microsoft. Like this, if you were to do a public opinion poll on Microsoft right now, I'm sure it would be not in a good place because again of Phantom Dust, Fable Legends. It's just been like one big cancellation after another, and it's just a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed out right now, Kyle.
I forgot to, I wrote down that this is probably unprecedented, that this is the biggest cancellation. I actually think Fable Legends was bigger because they didn't just cancel that game, they just shut down Lionhead.
Right.
And they said, yeah, you know what, Lionhead's gone, forget about Fable games. It's like, whoa, you used to love Fable games, Xbox. You used to love that.
Yeah.
And they're like, not anymore, it's our bottom line, baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a studio that they actually owned, whereas Platinum is independent.
Right.
But that's another thing, too, is that, like, that was a key relationship they had with a Japanese publisher, you know, and so like it kind of represents that as well as like another nail in the coffin for, you know, getting something that like nobody in Japan's buying the Xbox anyways, but it's like that people that appreciate that kind of game in the West.
Like, wow, I would not be surprised if Sony does another Kojima and says, yo, Kamiya, come on over, let's go, Platinum exclusive on PS4. Like, I bet they're
or making the
already
Switch.
trying to meet with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're making the switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've been I've been saying all week, just because of the timing of like,
Yeah. Wonderful 101 and
Wonderful 101. It's
straight on
exclusive.
in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, Bayonetta.
It's
Bayonetta
happened.
2?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
could
Bayonetta
easily.
Bayonetta 2. Great. Absolutely. Yeah. So it is. Should we talk about Platinum? Basically, the thing I don't want to do with this discussion is kind of try to figure out why we think it got canceled, because there's lots of rumors out there
Yeah.
about what was going on with its development. But Platinum's is such an interesting developer. Just a Japanese studio. It's been working on other people's games for a while, in a weird way. It's been working on games for Activision with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Korra and Transformers. Nintendo with Star Fox. And so it's Konami with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. And so, yeah, it's weird. It's got a weird place. And I want to know what the
I
panel
don't think
thinks
it's
of
that
Platinum.
weird. I think it's
Tell
just
me.
a little bit more public.
Sure.
Because, did you watch the Danny O'Dwyer Rocket League documentary?
I saw part 1.
Okay. But, like, in there, they talked about how, as a studio, like, when they were early on, like, they were balancing, working on, like,
love
their
that part.
dream games,
But also,
like, bringing in the contract work to make money.
and he said, I need a good balance of those things.
Yeah.
I love that part of the interview, actually. That was really
And
cool.
so, and I think that's the same kind of thing to Platinum's, trying, like, we want to work on our pet projects, but we need the money to fund those.
Yeah.
And that's common throughout the industry. Silicon Knights did that kind of thing. N-Space, which we're going to talk about later,
Sure.
did that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things that, yeah, as a developer that's, not owned directly by a publisher, like, you have to kind of find ways to make that work, and some do and some don't. So yeah,
Are you worried about Platinum after this?
I think it's a big contract.
Yeah.
I don't know enough from the business side to know, like, if that really hurts their bottom line, but it could be a thing where, like, they can't afford to keep all those people on staff, without pulling in another contract to make up for it.
Which is where a Sony or Nintendo would have to step
Yeah.
up, really, to pay for half their studio. It would need to be somebody that large who's willing to take a loss on it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about Scalebound. Oh, this was crazy. Polygon picked up on it. Just wiped off the YouTube page. Wiped off their Microsoft's, like, listing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like this game's been canceled. If you go to xbox.com/scalebound, it's, like, gone.
Purge the file.
Purged. Yeah, the videos, the trailers from those E3s past, just gone.
That's some gross.
Redacted.
That's some gross stuff about the internet right now.
Yeah. and, like,
Especially with, like, when companies, like, they're trying to, like, pull in all those ad revenues that, like, they put on the copyright notices on anybody else to, like,
sure.
repost the trailer.
if I make a Scalebound video, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, not just a video, but, like, if, if, like, game trailers, like, we just posted all the trailers, like, a lot of the times, like, those will get strikes. Like the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer, if you put that up, like, you wouldn't get a strike, but you would get the ad money would go to Rockstar.
Sure.
So that discourages people from even doing that because they're not going to benefit from it. So now it's like, it really is up to the people that downloaded Scalebound videos for it to even exist, for anyone to look at it.
Exactly. Because the weird thing is, if I'm a business person, I would say, yeah, wipe them. I don't want anybody seeing those trailers anymore. I don't want them getting excited about a game that they'll never get. Wipe them. I would do that. And it is strange, though, because, like, we love those trailers. We love video game history. And the idea that they would just get wiped completely is so depressing.
I also have another perspective on just the Sorry, I just thought of this right now.
Wait,
Just
hold on.
that
What
it's-
is Jones cracking
If
up
only
about?
there was a hub where you could go to get all the
Oh, I
greatest.
see. All right.
Yeah.
Like, you mean like a singular website?
That seems like a good racket to get in. You get the trailers, you keep them for yourselves.
Yeah.
Give them to the little man.
Just, if you cancel a game, you obviously don't believe in it. You don't think it's going to be very good for whatever reason. And, Microsoft is definitely taking all of the heat right now for canceling this. Whereas if the game came out and was terrible, it would be more damaging to Platinum and Kamiya.
Absolutely.
True.
So I just think it's,
Yeah, because that's
a
the
bold
thing.
move on Microsoft's part to cancel it and take all the
It's-
heat.
Sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say without knowing a lot more, and it's going to be one of
Yeah.
those things that we're going to get a documentary on in a year. It's like, because it's a crazy thing for Microsoft to go from being super excited about this game and what it means for their platform and getting that to saying this isn't going to work out.
Yeah.
And it could be totally the right call. It could be nobody's fault and it's just a project that wasn't going to come together. Or it could be due to corporate meddling to try to make it more attractive to people. Or it could be, due to it being the wrong kind of game for Platinum. It's like you have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I just have so little stock in anybody on stage at an event. I've said this before, like telling me why they're excited. Like, I don't care why you're excited. You're getting paid to be excited. Like, just show me the thing, and then I can determine if I'm excited about it and why other people should be excited. The quicker you can get to the product, the less uncomfortable it is now when we're done, and you start thinking back to these interviews you've had and these moments where these executives are just like, oh yeah, Scalebound, very excited about that. Oh yeah, Lionhead, great company. And it's like, oh wait, no, never mind. Because on the other end, they won't say anything. We'll get a sentence being like, we're not doing it. Anyway, we have other games. You're like, you're not gonna say thanks, Platinum. You're not gonna say
that's crazy.
Hey,
yeah.
It was just our decision. We're not gonna get we don't want to get into the details. You're not even gonna say you're not gonna get into the details. You just nothing. You get nothing.
And what's so like
what
on stage at E3, seeing somebody playing a live demo of a game, the number of times that game has been canceled is probably fewer than 5. This is so rare. It is worth appreciating.
Yeah,
it is a very rare thing to ever happen. Something very wrong happened. Who knows? That's so crazy to me.
Got the rain.
Ooh, that sounds so nice.
Raining. Oh yeah.
That hard rain.
I love it.
Heavy rain.
Did you read the Phantom Dust?
That stuff is crazy.
It is really crazy, and it makes you wonder about Microsoft. And again, it all comes back to that word doubt. It's like, who's going to want to move forward now and partner with Microsoft on a game after such a big cancellation like this and other cancellations in the past? It's all
the
building
adding up. Please tell the
Yeah.
audience who may not be familiar with what the Phantom Dust thing was. Explain that.
An inside source close to the Phantom Dust development basically was saying that Microsoft was forcing things upon the game, that they gave them a budget of $5 million for a multiplayer-only game, and then came back after the dotted line had been signed on and said, actually, we want a campaign as well.
No more money.
No more money, no more extra people.
No more extra time.
No extra time. Then the demo, or the CG trailer that was shown at E3, they didn't even know about. They didn't make it. So there were just all
I knew that
these...
part from the past, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, just some crazy dealings.
To have a separate company, not even talk to the team who's making the game, is just just make a cool CG trailer for us.
Yeah.
It's insane to read that article. It is just basically like a expose, but it's not from a journalist. It's just somebody speaking like, here, this is everything that happened to us. A whistleblower. Thank you, Huber. That's a crazy thing to read. I don't assume any deal is as bad as that deal was, but just reading what happened to Phantom Dust, it's crazy to me. Yeah. And then people still think like a Phantom Dust is coming because after that game was canceled, the public statement was like, we're still working on some Phantom Dust thing probably, and people were like, oh, it's coming then. It's like, no, it's not. It's not coming.
Swept under the rug.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, maybe they'll do an HD remake of Phantom Dust or something. I don't. Weird to like look at the E3 history of the Xbox One and the games it's accomplished basically, because there's not a lot. Gears of War 4 happened, there's Halo 5 happened. The Forza games have been great.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I want to talk about too. I'm sorry to keep this going, but
I like this.
It's like Scalebound was the risk game. It was taking a big risk. It was like, yo, check out this crazy, wild, co-op, dragon hunting monster. Like, this game looks weird,
Platinum.
and I love it. Like, this is awesome as an Xbox One gamer, because, while Halo 5 and Gears 4 and Forza are solid games, they're safe games.
Yeah.
They don't take a lot of risks. They are what you expected. They're great.
Yeah.
But Scalebound was just this new, crazy, wacky thing.
I guess though, in defense, I would say they have other crazy wacky games. They had Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break.
Yes, and both of those did not do well commercially, which is
I
so
think that
upsetting.
fed into this. I think that totally fed into, the expectations of Scalebound.
Man, oh man.
Because there was effort. Like you're just saying, there was a
Yeah.
genuine effort from Microsoft. Let's put some weird games on Xbox One.
Totally.
Let's get some weird exclusives.
Those are trying to be different, like
Yeah.
especially Quantum Break. And,
Even
and
Fable
Sunset
Legends,
Overdrive.
like it was a familiar IP, which made it
call.
safer, but it was design-wise, it was pretty weird.
You're right. Those did take a risk.
Take a risk, and I don't know. I think
What else was on there? Oh, Crackdown.
Crackdown 3, man. So I was looking it up. It was this time last year, January of 2016. Microsoft was listing.
And it wasn't at E3, right? They didn't.
No, it was delayed at E3.
Yeah.
So they listed it as coming out summer of 2016, in parentheses, multiplayer only. So there was going to be like some chopped up multiplayer only version of Crackdown 3 that was going to come out last summer.
Chopped up.
Then at E3, they said, it's delayed, but when it comes out eventually, it'll be the whole package. And now we're here in 2017 with the promise of Crackdown 3 coming out in 2017, and it's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe.
And
I want to hear Jones talk about Crackdown 3. I'm eager. Give me something.
Well, I don't hate the Crackdown series. Yeah, one was really refreshing.
I think
It was
that's what
like-
everybody feels. Like 2 is like zombies don't.
Yeah, every time I would level up. Well, even 2, like my wife is in 2, so I harbor no ill feelings towards 2.
What does she do? What is
She's one of the soldiers running around.
Cool.
Yeah, I made a video where I ran around and killed her a bunch of times. Threw her off of buildings and stuff. But
does she sound sad or comical?
yeah, well, a little bit of both. Yeah.
Okay.
She, I think she was supposed to be serious, but you can tell she kind of cheesed some of the lines a little bit. But yeah, Crackdown reminds me of not Infamous, but the other one, Prototype. Where like I didn't expect a lot from Prototype 1 and 2. I just kind of wanted a fun game where I could jump around and throw people and stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted a Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I just want that game again, you know. And
Yeah.
so I was
really
excited.
looked at it.
So when I saw what they were like, okay, well we're gonna take this to the next level, and like it's not just cars now and co-op and stuff. Like whole buildings you're gonna be able to take down. And I was like, great, fantastic, go for it.
Yeah.
And just these
Man.
games just go away.
Jones, now you got me hyped on Crackdown 3 thinking about Prototype.
Oh yeah, when we were doing our fantasy picks, it was my sleeper. I do think there's potential in a Crackdown 3. It's good to have those types of games. We're just feeling negative
What's
this
weird
week.
about Crackdown 3 is it's like the name Crackdown for some reason is like this safety net. Like I don't feel like there's anything in Crackdown 3 that really resembles the first 2 games that much.
Oh no, totally hopping around.
Hopping
And, like,
around, yeah.
The narrator.
Buildings.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Welcome, agent. Like they
And
got the same
visual,
guy.
like colors.
Yeah, the
Sure.
neon city and.
The idea of just being able to just climb a wall of a building is pretty cool, Blood. I think that's all you need, right?
Yeah. Prototype 2, the like sprinting through.
Did you play through Prototype 2?
I did.
Nice.
At game trailers for some reason. I remember staying late. I don't know why I was playing Prototype 2 at game trailers.
Yeah.
But for
Probably
whatever reason, and
capturing
I
for-
remember like Ryan Stevens and stuff coming over after hours, and they're like, "Why are you playing this?" And I think I was just like, "Oh, I just felt like playing it."
Oh, so you're just playing it for the fun of it?
Yeah, just like after work when it was over.
Huh.
I just like booted it up and got through it.
So that's how you get, if you're an intern right now, that's how you get a job. Is just
stay after work, just
stay
playing
after work,
games.
just playing games. That's funny. Okay, so let's talk about going forward. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the Xbox One lineup without Scalebound.
Well, Forza Motorsport 7, which is not on that list, but is definitely coming
Inevitable?
this year. Yeah.
Do you think so, Blood? Do you think that it'll just be Horizon regular, Horizon vanilla, alternating years? They won't.
They've never missed a year. It's
Oh, yeah.
been every other year for Forza.
But like, what if there's a new one in between? What if there's a third?
But no, that's what I'm saying. It's like for Forza Motorsport, it's
Yeah.
been every other year since the series started.
Okay, so you'd think the off year would be a Horizon year, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's basically why they brought in the Horizon team, is to fill in the off years.
Sure.
Because it's like we're not going to be able to put in something that makes anyone interested in those years. So
Yeah,
let's bring in a completely different kind of game.
and a really exciting kind of game. Whereas I think when Forza 7 is announced, it's going to be like, oh, sure.
Yeah.
I think, at E3 this year, they'll need a Halo trailer. Big time.
Yeah,
Or something
It's
else.
they
time.
probably will tease
Some
it.
kind of new fun IP from a fun action developer would be great. Oops. But something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
That's always why I don't like CG trailers. I always talk about that with you, Jones. Just
Right.
I like when they show gameplay. It's like with Halo, you can make that trailer whenever. That game could be 6 months in development or like 2.5 years in development. You've never shown the game off, just slap, have Master Chief picking up a helmet. That'll get everyone
desert.
psyched.
And then there's kind of an earthquake, and then
yeah.
a ship comes out. Halo 6.
Yeah.
Suckers.
There you go. Here's your CG
I'm sorry,
trailer.
it's not Halo 6 anymore.
This is probably going to be
It'll
exactly
be
what we see.
Halo Covenant.
Ooh, that's a good title though. Yeah, Huber, I love CG trailers, but I totally get it in this discussion. I mean, even Rhyme turned out to be a CG trailer. You know what I mean? Like that
A really
Rhyme
creative
announcement.
one, though.
Yeah,
Rhyme is actually coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, and there's actual gameplay of Rhyme now.
Rhyme.
Pretty cool. Yeah, we never covered that on this podcast, but like Rhyme's happening. We talked about it when Sony dropped it, but I didn't talk about it when they picked it up again. And like IGN's covering it now. They're covering it very well. I think they have 25 minutes of gameplay. Check out IGN.
I think it's chopped up.
No,
I like when you say that.
chopped up.
You just got a chopped up version of this game.
Well, no, if it's just like here's the multiplayer only, the story's coming later. It's like don't bother with the story then. Just don't. Just do multiplayer only in that case.
That seems like a test. If multiplayer sells crazy, then we'll finish that story thing. But if they don't, then there's a clear picture that we did the right thing. We released the best part of the game first, and then now we're done.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you're a huge publisher, you can look at the success of GTA Online and you can say, oh, we should just do that.
Right.
We don't need the campaign. We should just do that thing.
Well, the stuff that they're talking about with Crackdown 3 with the buildings falling over and all that, like
Deep Mind.
What is Deep Mind, by the way?
no,
I
no,
can't
don't
find this
even
weird
know.
It
reference.
wasn't. No, it
But
was.
I-
The cloud.
yeah, Cloud.
Yeah.
The Cloud.
So like that stuff working, like that's more impressive in a multiplayer environment. Like we've kind of seen those types of things.
Playing
and-
on our own?
Yeah, like in
Yeah.
single player. So like to
Sure.
see that happening like on a server with a bunch of people around, and actually a person causing that to drop a building on you. Like, yeah, that's definitely going to be more impressive than like trying to make some campaign like wedged into that. So, I think it honestly makes sense. I feel like if they're going to do a campaign, it's going to be one of these things where they just feel like they have to take off that box because all the people are going to complain. So you're going to charge $60 for this and there's no single player?
Fan dust. We need a campaign. That's what they said.
That is what they said.
Or allegedly.
Yeah,
No.
allegedly, of course.
Allegedly.
Blood, you just reminded me of the final boss of Crackdown 1. We had the best time because it's at a tall tower. I think the tallest tower in the game. And you get up there and there's a boss fight. We left. We left the room. We scaled down the building. We went to another building across the way and just shot at the sniper rifle to that boss to death. The boss couldn't do anything about it. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much that the game allows you to do that. The game says, that's okay. Hey, man, if you want to do that, go ahead. And that is an exciting thing. I think that's why I still have hope in a Crackdown-like game. But that's less interesting to me in multiplayer, I guess. I guess that's it. That's our Scalebound talk. Poor Scalebound. That's a whole the whole game.
I hope everyone's doing okay over there at Platinum.
Oh yeah.
Kamiya took mental health leave.
Again, allegedly took a month off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just crazy. I can't imagine being at that state where it's like, hey man, you need to take a month off. You're dying here, because that's probably what it was. Just working every single day.
I'm trying to get to that state.
Where we say, Jones, take a month off.
Get out of
Jones."
here.
Yeah. You're done, Jones.
We still take our Christmases off. We still had some good breaks.
Oh.
Oh, do y'all hear that?
Oh.
Sounds like it's podcast halftime.
Whoa.
Already?
All right, it's a quick one. Compared to the last podcast. The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of January. Michael Kozachenko, who you can find at Misha Koz. Mango. Simon Anderson. iKeyless. Need a new car key or remote? iKeyless.com has been in the key replacement business since 2002. Check them out today and they can help save you up to 75% off of the dealership's prices. If you type in offer code EASYA at checkout, you'll get 15% off of your order. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Sweet Justice, a sound design company based in England that's worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, and Call of Duty. You can see their work and hear their work at www.sweetjustice.audio. All of these links are available in the description. thank you to our sponsors.
You know, I was just thinking of iKeyless. In the biz since 2002, you are just at the tip of that curve of people using an I in a product name.
Oh yeah.
Like 2002, you're ahead of the curve there.
Yeah.
Well, what I was thinking is, like, hear our work at, sweetjustice.audio. Mm-hmm. Like, I can only imagine, like, somebody going on there with, like, an iPhone or some crappy headphones. And I can't hear the range of your work at all. It's just like,
That's an audio joke. From
That is an audio joke for sure.
I love it.
You can't hear the range, you fools.
like, it's like going to the Huber. It's like going to like a good theater, and like the sound you get from like a Star Wars movie compared to like trying to hear it on like your crappy TV. You know?
Oh, that's such a funny comment, though.
That's so good.
You fool.
Go to Sweet Justice on your computer with good speakers.
Oh, that's great.
Request it at the theater. Turn around to your projectionist and say, "Excuse me, would you mind?"
Justice, please.
Before we go to love and respect, I want to cover one interesting thing that also popped up this week. We saw, for the first time ever, a prototype footage of Mega Bloks Halo. Mega Bloks, if you don't know, is a knockoff Lego brand.
Knockoff.
Well, knockoff.
Competitor. Okay.
Okay, no, I mean, you didn't come up with that idea of that brick on your own.
Yeah.
You said, oh, that's a successful toy. Let's make it the exact same shape and size.
Yeah.
You're a knockoff, Mega Bloks. But anyway, I don't want to get into that discussion. Basically, a really cool channel called P2P Online, who basically does this a lot, has, I guess, anonymous people send in prototypes of canceled games. Someday we'll get Scalebound, probably.
Right.
And plays them. And had a 12-minute video just showing us off this game. And I think the general perception among the panel here is this is pretty cool. A Mega Bloks Halo game.
Awesome. I know I throw this word around a lot, but wow. Jolly.
I'm always a fan to see like a whimsical version of a popular franchise.
Yeah.
Let alone a very serious franchise. Halo was serious.
Yeah.
So it was refreshing to see just lighthearted Master Chief going through like pew 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 pew.
Also reminded me of the early Halo Combat Evolved. It was originally supposed to be a third-person game, so if you look back at like the very early versions of Halo,
The Mac trailers.
yeah,
Sure.
so it's kind of reminded me a little bit of that, kind of going back to the basics of the series.
Well, yeah. Well, what was funny though is there's like a lot of stuff that's very much like the Lego games, anyways. Like trails of Legos to follow and pick up. So like I don't know what they would be called in Mega Bloks land. You wouldn't call them studs.
Mega bricks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mega Bricks.
Mega bricks.
Mini bricks.
Knockoff breaks.
Knockoff bricks. But there was one cool part that we saw where you're like actually built in a turret that.
Oh, yeah, sold.
Jones said, wow, when he saw
fire.
that.
At that moment, well, yeah, I wasn't expecting like a little tower defense. Yeah,
Is it
and there
too
was a selection of like what he could have put in that base. So
Is it too soon, Jones? It gave me Disney Infinity vibes, I'm not gonna lie.
no, it's fine. That'll be a bitter
Yeah.
pill.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah.
I mean,
Everybody's
Had
sending
they
me all
had
the
those
Rogue
vibes.
One
two
figures.
two
It's like,
canceled
I know.
games. One actually came out.
But yeah, would I've rather that Infinity didn't come out and I just got some concept video a couple years later.
Yeah,
but it's just
you do, because the games are better in your imagination always.
right, and I'll always have those figures. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked fun. It looked amusing. It didn't look like it was trying to aspire to be anything other than a fun, take on Halo.
And that's what's weird.
Had its own story.
So the build was from 2013, which is it's overlapping with the Xbox One, and it was only in development for the 360. And the rumor is, because this anonymous source did not give a reason for its cancellation, just that it was looked at and just said, you know what, we're got to worry about Xbox One right now. Sorry, boom. Because to me, this looks like this could have been big. I like it too. I like how Master Chief looks. The character models are great. It is a fun-looking third-person shooting game. What's up?
362, that makes sense because they could have gone the Assassin's Creed Unity Rogue route of
Yeah.
Halo 5 comes out on Xbox One and this thing comes out on 360.
Yeah, have the kids play it.
Yeah.
Crazy to me that it got canceled.
Do like a Modern Warfare remastered pack-in or something.
Yeah,
You can get
pack
like
it
the
in.
deluxe version. You get this for free, and
Yeah.
you can also play it on your Xbox One.
I mean, I do wish they hadn't been so close to the Lego games that they had the only places where they had blocky looking things were the interactive bits. Like the rest of the world was just like whatever cartoon style. Mm-hmm. So I still want to see that that game where like it really looks like everything is built out of blocks. And maybe that requires creating some kind of special engine.
Lego Worlds.
Lego Worlds, yeah.
Lego Worlds.
But it's funny that like you put that on, like I'm really looking forward to it when you have it on PC.
Early access.
You could it is only early access on PC.
It's
right
early
now?
access.
When
yeah.
we played it a year ago, it was not fully there yet.
Yeah, this will be
A year ago.
True.
They've added a lot of stuff.
Actually, I really like I'm glad you bring that up, Bloodworth, because a lot of the newer Lego games actually go like even a little realistic in their cartoony backgrounds. The way that the levels themselves look was really kind of stunning in a weird way.
Yeah.
Really cool art aesthetic. And I think if the game came out, it would actually up this prestige of Mega Bloks. Mega Bloks does not have a great awareness.
I've never heard of it.
Well, I think
Yeah?
that they do have that Halo line, right? Like
They do.
That actually exists.
They have a Destiny line. They actually have Call of Duty Mega Bloks.
So
that's Mega Bloks.
That's what
I've seen them in
they've
GameStop.
niched. They've done is they've done these things that are like too mature for Lego to put out. You know,
Yeah.
adult themed Legos.
I actually really love the Ninja Turtles Mega Bloks. Can give those a thumbs up. Those are cool.
Do they have Krang?
Well, I'm addicted to blind packs. That's what I do. I don't buy the boxes. I just like buy blind packs and put it together into stupid Ninja
Because
Turtles.
it's like gambling.
Kind of.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
And you get a little treat.
Yep.
You never lose though.
Yeah.
You never go to the casino and lose money. It's
yeah.
like,
Well, I mean,
It's
you
still-
lose if you get one you already had.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I try not to get more than one in a series. You gotta like watch it. You gotta be cool. Maybe 2 or 3 in a series tops, but you gotta, yeah, right.
Hedge your bets.
Getting a dupe would really stink. Why am I still talking about this? Oh, because I thought it was really cool that Bonnie Ross, head of 343 Industries, actually commented about this.
Oh.
It wasn't a thing that they just swept under the rug. She wrote this on Waypoint, which is like the Halo messaging system board. Over the past few days, footage. What is that?
Oh no. Just,
Oh, I thought you were doing like money. I
Oh,
thought
no,
you
no,
were
no.
doing that thing. Sorry for listeners. Huber was rubbing his hands together. And,
I was grabbing my sweater.
okay.
Sorry.
Just grabbing a sweater. Over the past few days, footage has recently made the rounds of an exploratory Xbox 360 project we worked on several years ago, known as Hagar. Since then, we've received a lot of great feedback from the community. Hagar was something we prototyped with our friends at Mega Bloks, and that focused on the elements of action, exploration, and user creativity found within the Halo universe. Hagar had a lot of fun ideas and invention behind it, but ultimately didn't progress beyond the early prototyping levels that are shown in the recent video. This is just one example of several similar projects we have evaluated throughout the years, a process that we continue exploring on an ongoing basis. So pretty cool stuff in that message, actually.
Yeah.
As we talked about earlier in the first half of this podcast, Microsoft do more cool stuff. She's saying, like, we're trying stuff out. It's one of many things, and we're still trying it out. And she's been very clear that she likes the feedback, that she finds it interesting to how well received this actual stupid Mega Bloks game is.
Message received.
Yeah,
You know, like, you might not get this game, but we'll know that there were parts of this you liked about it.
right. That's Bonnie Ross being very good at her job, I think.
Yes, I think so too.
Communication.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it's like, on one hand, you've got like, hey, I've seen some stuff come up over this thing that you didn't even know we canceled. Let me talk about it for a little bit. Versus, hey, we canceled this game.
Wait till you see 2017.
Later, everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
Check
come
out
on.
these over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's what it's a magic trick. You're right. It's exactly that. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty cool perspective. It's this weird kind of thing where maybe this positive attention this thing is getting might lead to something somewhere. It's the kind of thing like in Hollywood, you know, they hear a thing and they're like, "Oh, why don't we have that script? Let's put that script in the," you know, it's that, to me, that kind of thing.
Dread 2.
Was that happening or what? What's going on?
In development. Who knows?
Okay.
Everything in this town is
But
in
I think
development.
that's a reason Sea of Thieves is a big game for Microsoft because it's like fun. There's like Gears, like and Marcus is back. And it's like Halo, like no, the Master
Yeah, sure.
Chief. You know, like everything's just so damn heavy.
Right. And
So it's
Halo should be
like
fun.
Sea of Thieves, and the trailer they had at E3 was like people discovering it for the first time, and wow, this game's really fun. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making mistakes. You know, there's
Yeah.
just not a lot of other things that they're selling that have that vibe.
So that's cool. Cool story. Cool thing that just popped up this week. Who knows if anything will ever happen, but I'm so grateful for P2P Online and whoever leaked
Yeah.
that thing. Keep leaking.
Yeah.
Keep leaking those games. I know you signed an NDA. I know it's illegal for you to do that. You're in trouble doing that, but we all appreciate it. It's like cool that we got to see that. It's
Yeah.
so cool that we got to see that. Oh man, cool age that we live in. It is now time for Love and Respect. Love and respect. So let's start with a game. Yeah, let's start with a game. You all ready for a game?
Sure.
Okay. Yep. Hey, Elias. I was recently watching a show where they played a game where they considered players and debated which one was valuable to their respected team. So I was thinking of you guys. You could possibly do this with games and game franchises and determine which are more valuable to their respected first-party publisher.
Cool.
Which one is more valuable to their team. So not necessarily which one is more valuable game, but which is more valuable to the team they belong to. Here we go. First example, Gears of War to Microsoft versus God of War to Sony.
I would say Gears is more valuable to Microsoft than God of War is.
Gears, they need it.
And Bloodworth, how do you feel about that?
Pillar.
Yeah, I mean, they did start a whole studio whose only job is to make more Gears games.
Right.
The Coalition is just saying, make Gears games for the rest of your lives. That's crazy. So I guess that's an easy answer then, isn't it?
I think it's pretty easy. Blood's debating here, though.
Yeah.
I think it probably is Gears, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of even.
Yeah, it's close. It's at least close. It's an interesting question.
Because it was always a curiosity. I mean, I think we knew before we saw the God of War trailer, we knew God of War was coming back, but we just didn't know, like, is this the trailer? Is it going to be at this event? But I mean, it wasn't as, I don't remember the conversation ever being around God of War that, like, is God of War coming back? Because it has to. Sony's in trouble if, like, God of War doesn't come back. It was like, if Gears just went away, we'd be like, ooh, they don't have a lot of franchises left if they lose Gears.
So, yeah, but I do think Kratos is a top 3 face of a characters for Sony.
Sure.
I agree. Because Sony doesn't have, like, one person.
Yep.
They don't have...
Well, yeah, in that
You know.
sense, there's.
There's a couple.
Ratchet.
Ratchet,
Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake, Kratos,
Yeah. He's
Lightning.
up there.
Delsin Rowe. Love it.
Yeah, I think that's just the weird thing is like Sony has a lot of games that like we gravitate to, but they don't necessarily produce a lot of those like iconic like characters that like anybody spots on the street, you know, and like a lot of like even Parappa. It's like one of those things. It's like love Parappa, but you put Parappa out there in front of like a bunch of random people.
That's
like,
just a cute dog.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Kratos is almost at that point where people are like, oh, God of War. You know, I think it's almost there. Here's one where people are very certain. Halo for Microsoft versus Mario for Nintendo. So
Yeah, I mean Mario is definitely more important.
I think Mario's Nintendo.
Sure, yeah.
Mario's
Yeah.
Nintendo, yeah.
Right, when Nintendo gets a theme park, it's like, oh, Mario gets a theme park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird because it's like
I cannot
they're
even...
both basically in the same position for both companies.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Mario is just that much higher.
Yeah.
Overall.
Right, exactly.
Like Mario, it's like it's a linchpin and not just the Mario series, but like it is that icon. It is representative of Nintendo. It is all of these different games where Mario is gonna pop up one way or another. So yeah.
I don't want to think of a world without Mario.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
I didn't say we're not. I don't say we're killing these other characters.
Okay.
This is just who's more important to their team.
Okay, it's not... Okay.
Nobody's dying in this game. We do get a lot of those. So,
That's what I'm used to.
I mean, that's
most
the
of the
thing,
games
like-
we started off with are like, one
Yeah.
lives, one dies. And we're like, you know what? We got to stop doing that every time. Yeah.
I think there's probably even a section of fans out there that would say, I just wish it would have ended after Halo 3.
Sure. Halo
Like-
fans are thinking it's weird these days. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I wish it ended after Galaxy. So, Forza to Microsoft.
Prove it right now.
That I wish it ended after
Yeah,
Galaxy?
Prove to me right now that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a bad game.
Oh my
I
god.
dare you. Prove this.
In 3D World.
How
Got
dare
3D
you?
World as well.
This guy plays like
3D
10
Land.
minutes of Galaxy 2 and says it's terrible.
It's at least a half hour in is the point I was at.
Tell me why. End this. End my nightmare, Kyle.
It gets to the point of just adding blocks. It's just building more game to me as opposed to building an adventure. Obviously, I can't prove it. I'll take the prove it ticket. I'll take the loss on that one. I said something snarky I shouldn't have said.
Good job, Huber. I'm proud of
take
you.
the L. Yeah.
Way to assert yourself.
That's the way you use a prove
Don't
it
let
ticket.
him win, ever.
I love that, yeah. That's a good use of the prove
Don't
it
give
ticket.
Kyle an inch.
Have you really not played that much of the game?
I got to the spicy chili Yoshi level.
Okay.
That's where I got. And I'm like, you know what?
I
Enough.
can't remember how far that is.
Enough video game levels. I've seen enough video game levels. It's fine. There's more. I get it.
It hurts so much.
Forza to Microsoft versus Splatoon to Nintendo. So I thought this one was kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
Well, it's almost like I feel Forza is naturally important to Microsoft, where I feel Nintendo has made Splatoon important.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I don't outwardly look at Splatoon as a franchise and think like, oh yeah, that's this is great, but like, oh no, this is gonna be integral to Nintendo's success. Whereas like seeing Splatoon featured so prominently in that Switch trailer was a surprise.
Because I think it is. I think Splatoon is super important to Nintendo's growth.
Yeah.
It's hey, they made a new game finally. We said
Right.
we're talking about Microsoft making a
Yeah.
new game. Nintendo almost never makes new games.
But like 8 years from now, are we gonna be on Splatoon 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it won't be Splatoon 8, but I mean,
Splatoon 4.
sure.
But I mean, we're on Forza 10, 9, 10.
Well,
Oh,
seven.
you're saying
You know what
because
I
they
mean?
are making a Forza game
Ding, ding,
every
ding,
single
ding,
year.
ding, every
even.
single year. Like,
All right.
that's a franchise that is important to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
No,
Like they're not doing that just because like we love Forza. It's like no, we need this series.
Sure.
I really, yeah, I feel like Forza is a very considered investment for Microsoft. I'm honestly not even sure that they make money on Forza.
Sure.
In any form.
Wow. No, because they, the cars pay to be in there at some point. I bet.
No,
I
they
bet you have
pay
to
a
pay
lot
the-
of money for those cars.
Yeah, they pay
And
the
they
other
pay
way.
a lot
That
of
goes the
money
other
to
way.
get those cars to look as good as they do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's I really think that Forza is a franchise that they throw a lot of money at just so that they can say, hey, we've got, the best racing franchise that's out there this year, and do that year after year, and like have that as a linchpin
Yeah.
in their marketing strategy.
And I know this sucks to say, but I kind of think that's what console manufacturers should do. You can take a loss on software because that's kind of like the part of your deal. You can make some games that don't sell like crazy. You can put out Scalebounds. Okay, so moving forward.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but Gears, Halo, Forza.
Yeah.
So I'm going Forza on that one.
Here we go. This one's, oh man, this is weird. We'll see how this does. MLB The Show to Sony. Metroid to Nintendo. This is tough, actually.
Saying MLB The Show.
Because, yeah, that's a year, like we talked about them putting out that every year. That's the number one baseball game.
It's like, yeah, it's basically the only baseball game.
Does Metroid matter that much to Nintendo?
No.
It would not seem currently.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
It's interesting to think about.
They
But
don't care
obviously,
about it.
obviously Metroid's a bigger franchise, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a
But why, though?
franchise.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the thing. MLB is it's a licensed product.
Like, I would say MLB The Show is a bigger franchise than Metroid. I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah.
Metroid is in the past.
Market-wise,
it's done.
it is.
I hate to be, like, stomping on dreams, but they clearly don't care about Metroid fans. They came out with one handheld spin-off in the last God knows how many years since GameCube. Or is there one on Wii?
Metroid Other M
One
was
on
the most-
Wii,
Metroid
yeah.
Other
But there were
M.
two on Wii.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since they gave two shits about Metroid. I've had enough.
I mean, Metroid is a
MLB
difficult proposition. I mean, Metroid is very much about us fans speaking loudly. It's not a game that makes money.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
But MLB The Show there's a passionate fan base out there
Yeah.
that isn't vocal. Like, then that's the thing. Like you were saying, Metroid. Fans speak up. They want more Metroid games. They're clamoring for them. They hunger for it. Whereas one of my best friends, he gets the show every year, and it's his game for an entire year. It's all he plays.
That's so cool to me. And you know what the thing is?
Sits in his garage,
Yeah.
trying to pitch a perfect game
Wow.
every week, every day.
Does he ever do it?
He
Emotion.
Whoa.
He got it one time because he was going for the trophy. There in one
you
of
get a
the shows.
That's so cruel.
In one of the MLB shows or
Yeah.
multiple, there was a trophy for doing it, and he got it in an MLB The Show that doesn't have the trophy for
Oh,
pitching a
man.
perfect game.
Oh, so it was like 2009 or something?
Yeah, it was one of those years.
So no
Brutal.
proof really if you
Yeah.
didn't like record it.
Yeah.
Like,
Man.
He's like, no.
So he's been trying to
For
reclaim that.
years. Yeah, he
ever
tried to
since.
throw a
That's
perfect
funny.
game. Because you have to do it on like normal settings. You can't cheese it. It's tough.
Before we get the corrections, it could be argued that there were 3. Because there was...
HD, right?
Well, yeah, there's Metroid Prime 3, and then there
Yeah.
was Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
you
there
know
was
I wouldn't
Metroid
let that
Other
in.
M.
Yeah,
I wouldn't let that
it's-
in.
No.
No Wii U Metroid game, right? There's a little Metroid Park in Nintendo
Right.
Land, but that's, yeah.
Just the virtual console releases of the Wii games.
Yeah,
Unacceptable.
I'll allow it. I'll allow MLB
But at the
The
same
Show to take
time,
that.
it was, again, like, it's you're not gonna make like a throwaway Metroid mainline game,
Yeah.
and it was very clear towards like the back half of the Wii U cycle that like they were doing a lot of throwaway games, or games that they invested in, games that they knew were going to give them some kind of a return. So Metroid is in that weird spot of like, don't really want to put a Metroid game out on a failing console because it's already a smaller portion of that market.
Yeah, before everyone executes me in the chat of saying MLB The Show is more important.
So if we see a Metroid
Metroid.
game, we actually are more likely to see it now because it could have been started on
Oh my
Wii U.
God.
Like, let's just wait for the next system.
Like, what if we find out
coming.
what Retro is working on
coming.
Thursday? What if we get to see what Retro is working on? I know I don't want to talk about this on the podcast, but I'm sweating thinking about what Retro is working on. Oh boy! So
we
let's
get a
do
Metroid,
let's do
please?
2 more. Oh boy, Conquer for Microsoft versus Crackdown for Microsoft.
Crackdown?
I don't
yeah,
know
at this
though.
point, Crackdown.
Well, Crackdown, because in that press release they say look forward to 2017 because Crackdown 3.
Yeah. Well, they put Conquer on like what's Project Spark, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if they said here we have a third-person platforming Conquer game, everybody would go nuts. But they're like, no, it's in Project Spark. It's like, what? And the HoloLens Conquer just looks so disgusting, and oh my god, yeah.
What is happening with HoloLens?
HoloLens
Is that thing ever going to be like a consumer level product or?
not soon. They said we're delaying the consumer level for a long time. We're gonna keep developing it as a tool. But yeah, we're not gonna be playing HoloLens games in the next 3 years. So again, just another big waste of E3 time. Like,
Yeah.
hey, look at us playing Minecraft. It's like, stop it. This is not easy. You're never gonna let us do this. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, that gets me miffed. Oh, this is so much fun. Oh, okay, so Uncharted for Sony versus The Last of Us for Sony. I love this one. This is the last one.
Yeah, it's Uncharted.
Well, Uncharted, but I mean, that would have been my answer a year ago, but now I don't
It's a
know.
deep question.
Yeah.
Uncharted, like commercially, Last of Us.
I mean, I think it
Yeah,
could flip with
like-
Last of Us 2.
I think Uncharted Uncharted had more to Uncharted 4 had more to prove than Last of Us Part 2 has now. Like I don't like Last of Us 2 coming out now is not like, okay, Naughty Dog, prove it. Like prove what? It's amazing. It's one of the best games I've ever played. Whereas like Uncharted, it's like, okay, yeah, new console, like you made 3 and now you're doing another one. It's called Thief's End. It's like, okay, well what's why did you make another one? Like, why did you look at the PlayStation 4 and go, no, we're not going to do what Naughty Dog usually does, which we're going to abandon that franchise for that gen. That was great. Moving on. No, we're continuing it. We got to make one more. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, I don't know, Last of Us Part 2, it's like, oh, yeah, just do that thing you did. Keep doing that. That was great.
So I was leaning Last of Us 2 on this one. Because kind of what Hero is talking about, Sony likes to have a live orchestra at their E3. I think they like having this game that gets super high ratings on Metacritic. I think they like having the one that's cooler to like. I think Last of Us is cooler to like than
Uncharted
Uncharted.
4 though was the highest rated game on Metacritic this year.
It was.
But still, there's something more like you. I know you love the little like leaves
Yes.
You know, Last of Us Remastered has those
Talking
leaves
on
on
a
the
poster
box.
when it, like you put your award
Over
that you got. You have like a little,
150 Game of the Year awards.
Yeah.
It's like their Oscar. You know?
yeah. So it's a little bit of that prestige, I think. But yeah, it's Uncharted. You're right. Uncharted is just a bigger franchise.
More marketable. Making a movie.
You can do
know if there's
either way
more
with it. You can
on
have
a
fun
movie.
with it, but you are going to also be serious. You can have funny moments. You can have Drake come out and do a funny bit or do a serious bit. Or you can't have Ellie come out and be like, hey, you know, it's like
Well,
all
you kinda
serious.
can.
It's all drama. Like
She had the joke book.
She had the joke book.
a little, yeah. There's just not
There's-
as much as
Yeah.
Drake.
Yeah. I don't think you're ever supposed to laugh at those jokes. I think it's just supposed to endear you to her, right?
Some of them, I mean, you laugh because
It's
they're
my
kind of
kind of
stupid
humor.
jokes. Yeah.
I love stupid jokes.
Okay.
Like your stand-up special. I honestly love those kind of jokes. So I was always just laughing at them.
Cool. So that was the game. Thank you very much. Love and respect, Dylan. Cool. Thank you, Dylan. That was a fun game.
It's always
liked
nice
it.
to have games that don't have right or wrong answers. We all feel great about ourselves.
Oh,
over there.
yeah.
Well, now I feel terrible. I just want to play Metroid.
Oh, it's going to happen. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Okay. Let's do... This one's fun. This is not even a question. This is from Alexander Zirnayov. PlayStation color is blue. Xbox color is green. And now, with the Switch, Nintendo color is red. Red, green, and blue forms full spectrum of color gaming experiences.
Nice.
We did it.
Just
we
a
made
comment.
it.
The thing is I feel like Nintendo Red is kind of classic anyways. Like the logo default is red. The
Yeah.
NES they represented was red. Now when they went to Super Nintendo, they like kind of went to purple, and then
It's the only real standard color on the old controller. It was
Yeah.
black, white, gray. And
So
red.
and then it like GameCube default was purple, and then Wii was I guess white.
Mario's outfit's red.
Yeah,
I think they switched
but
the...
red was really the
Bowser's
main
fire.
Right, yeah. Iconic.
I think they switched the logo to gray during
bricks
the Wii,
red.
right? It was during the Wii time period that they switched
Yeah.
the ovular logo,
thing. Yeah.
the racetrack logo.
I actually don't remember when they changed the color of it, but yeah, it's been all kinds of different colors.
Oh my
I feel an
gosh.
ovular correction coming on.
No, that's why I switched it to racetrack. It's more like a racetrack
2
shape.
days until we see Bowser on the Switch, baby.
Will Bowser reveal himself?
Oh, yeah, you know
I think
he is.
yeah, in some way.
Okay,
Oh.
man, I'm having a hard time picking right now.
Because they're all so good.
Yeah, they really are good questions. We could talk for another hour. This is interesting. Okay, you win today, Michael. Here we go. Hey, allies. One bit of news that got by a lot of places during the hustle and bustle of the holiday season is that Age of Empires 2 received a new expansion expansion pack titled Rise of the Rajas, which features 4 new civilizations and campaigns. Listeners,
Wow.
Huber is going nuts right now.
Huber's going home alone right now.
What? Kevin McAllister in
I'm
front of us.
streaming this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Am I crazy in thinking that Age of Empires 2 is not the most recent game?
3 was.
It's not. Yeah, it's not the most recent game. That's the
Okay.
point of this. So,
Dude.
this expansion is the third pack for Age of Empires 2 released since 2013 as part of Microsoft's efforts to support their Age of Empires franchise. An expansion for Age of Mythology was released in early 2016 as well. While the DLC isn't quite up to the caliber of the original games, it is still a total blast to find an excuse to boot up some of my childhood favorite games to play all new content. My question for the panel is, what other video game releases released ages ago would you like to see new content for, even if it is created by a different studio? Personally, I would love to see that Giant's Archstone from Demon's Souls finished up. Makes sense to Huber at least.
Yeah.
Or explore a new world in Super Mario Sunshine. Love and respect, Michael.
Man, we just got one with Duke Nukem.
Love that.
The best.
I love that.
Yes.
So explain that. Explain what happened with Duke Nukem.
Like 3 or 4 of the original developers for Duke Nukem 3D got together and added an entirely brand new episode that picks up after Duke Nukem 3D. It's a continuation.
I didn't
of the
even know
game.
it's canon.
It's canon.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you go to some of the best levels in all of Duke Nukem 3D. One of the reasons I love Duke Nukem 3D so much is different than Doom. I just love the levels, like the aesthetic of them, the way
Yes,
they look.
I relate to this big time.
Oh, some of them are so cool. You go to like Amsterdam and China. You go to back to Hollywood. It was so much fun, and it felt like classic Duke Nukem 3D because they made them. They made the levels.
Yeah.
So it was
so
cool.
Would the panel like to see like that? What do you want to see more levels of an old game that you truly enjoy?
The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Oh, Blood, great answer. You want more dungeons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want. Well, I mean, yeah. I want either the dungeons that they had concepted, that those items, like you just kind of picked up those items in weird little caves.
Yeah.
Or I would like to see
The hammer.
An expansion of the underwater Hyrule. Because when I first got under there, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's going to be this whole world down here. And there wasn't. It was just like this strange little path.
It was like one little path. Oh, Blood. You struck an
Winner.
arrow to my heart,
Yeah,
man.
winner.
Oh, to be able
Yeah.
to walk around in that Hyrule.
What is
Yes.
Damiani doing right now?
And I think like a lot of people, I'll get this correction, will say like, well, a lot of those dungeons ended up in Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, that the canceled ones. But you're right. You just want to see them.
Sure.
fine.
I mean, and it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be something that was from the cutting room floor. Just, like expand it in some way or have it be post game and before Phantom Hourglass or something, and he just sails off somewhere else,
Really, really cool answer, Blood. What have you got, Jones?
Prototype 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Not a bad answer.
I would love that. That'd be great. I wonder if the game ever had any expansions. If in any form from any developer ever I got any kind of an addition to any SSX game I've ever played, I would be overjoyed. I loved that the SSX came out that I played on PS3 because I preferred that over the 360 controller.
For tricks, especially.
Came out with Eddie's Mountain. Like Eddie, the one of the characters from it, it was like one of those big things where it's just one mountain. It took forever to go from the top like all the way down to the bottom. And that was great. That was
so you're talking
definitely
about
worth like a weekend.
The new SSX, Deadly Ascent, had Eddie's Mountain as
which
DLC.
they just renamed to just SSX. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's a great answer.
Totally boot that game back up. That Star Wars Battlefront game was good too. They should release some more stuff for that. They still are.
Yeah,
That's
what
the
is
joke.
it?
They just
Yeah.
You going to the Death Star?
Death Star was great. I think there's the Rogue One stuff just came out.
Yep.
And I imagine Episode 8 stuff is probably locked and loaded for this year. No.
Battlefront 2.
We got a sequel to that game coming out
Oh,
this year.
right.
Oh, speaking of games adding a ton of stuff, one of the things I didn't really get that deep into it, but for like 3 or 4 hours, I popped back into Drive Club, which is the first time I really had since they'd added weather, which was like really like a couple of months after launch. They did so much to that game. Like what was originally there, the thing I reviewed was like a slice of all of this content that they had added. They put in this whole bikes expansion. They had all of these other expansions and tracks and stuff. I started just driving through a whole new campaign. They added all these little mini campaigns.
And that was all free DLC. You didn't have like a season pass or something?
There was both.
Oh, okay.
So there's a mix of free and paid stuff. So I just went through and just like started downloading all the free stuff.
Cool.
It was hilarious because Sony sends you receipts for each one.
Oh, yeah,
So
you
I
get
had like
an email, too.
18 emails
Yeah.
about free things.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a fun way to spend a night.
Can I say The Witcher 3, please? Just every 6 months.
No, that's a cop out. That's a cop out. Give
I'm
me
kidding.
an old
I'm
game
kidding. No, I got one.
like Age of Empires 2.
I got one for you.
What do you got?
With brand new music to accompany it. Streets of Rage 2.
Oh wow.
Add some stages, add some new mechanics, new bosses,
New characters?
a couple new characters, because Duke Nukem visually was a big upgrade. The stages, they took advantage of the lighting and everything. It was definitely a bump up. So like a little bit of a bump up while retaining the vibe and the visuals. But that's what I would like.
Did you ever play the 3DS version where like everything was? It's pretty cool.
Wait, you did? You downloaded that 3DS version?
Yeah, me and Don talk about it all the time.
That's so cool. Because Don loves 3DS Sega Classics. And that's a good overlap. There aren't a lot of overlaps of Huber and Don. That's so cool. You know what? I don't have an answer for this. I was thinking the whole time that I'm probing you all for questions, and I don't think I got one. What? What do you got?
Maybe.
What?
Because it's already flawless. What about like one new location at Shadow Moses Island? Metal Gear Solid 1. from Kojima himself.
No.
Kojima comes out and he goes,
I'll take some extra content from Metal Gear Solid 4 or 5.
Yeah.
5 especially.
Let's
That'd be nice.
fine. Mission 51, 61. I always forget the number.
I think it's 51. Yeah.
Mission 51.
That's the correct
I think
answer.
1, 2, and 3 or 5.
Can you imagine though, Hubert? Like, wouldn't it be so wonderful if you and I could just sit down and multiplayer one-on-one 4 GoldenEye maps we had never played ever? It's like 4 brand new
God.
GoldenEye maps.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine
Our
it.
first time
It was like,
playing
here we
the map
go.
too.
Yeah.
We're like, where
am I? Whoa! Like, oh, I found the gold gun in this room. Like, oh,
Yeah, so
are you?
like
Over the second floor? There's a
Banjo-Kazooie.
second floor. Like,
I think that's my answer would be Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, I haven't
yeah.
played through 2 yet, but I just love the
I
way that
haven't
those
played
worlds.
2 yet.
So cool. All
You
right.
got to do that sometime.
Yeah.
the whole time they were Pip in Perfect Dark, I was like, I just want more GoldenEye. Like, stop making this game. It's not going to come out for 3 years. Give me more GoldenEye.
And it came out
Before
1 year later.
DLC, before really any, wasn't a big PC guy, so
Yeah. Man, that's funny.
just want more levels.
Okay, I do have one last one. It's not really a question. It's a follow-up, and I love follow-ups. Okay, so this comes from Jake McCrae. Hi, allies. Have an update for you. Last summer, I told you about my daughter Erin and her love for Undertale. I asked you for recommendations on another game that would be good for her to play. Do you remember that, Jones?
Yes.
I introduced her to several games you recommended, and she enjoyed them, but not to the extent of a game she found on her own. She recently discovered my copy of Dragon Quest VII and is totally engrossed.
Nice.
The slow start was an issue for me, but I put the game down and never finished it. But her love for the game has taught me a valuable lesson. Don't judge a game solely on your own feelings. We all bring our own experiences with us when we game. As an older gamer, I couldn't appreciate Dragon Quest VII because I have been there and done that before, but this is a new experience for her, and that novelty has kept her engaged, love, and respect. I thought that was cool.
Excellent.
Dragon Quest VII. None of us brought that up. We're like, hey, she
I'm
loves
curious
Undertale.
what we brought up in the future. If people are gonna give us updates, it'd be fun to know like what.
What
months
she was
later,
into. When
it's
she
like, what
hated, you can tell us
Yeah,
if
I
she
would
hated one
love
of
to
our
know what she
suggestions.
hated. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a fun one. Oh my god, look at all the questions I have to throw away. Okay, so it is now time for bets. Yeah, absolutely. If we affected with our love and respect question, if we affected it positively or negatively, let us know because I loved reading a follow-up. Okay. Next week's bet. Nintendo will be having a Switch presentation Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. How long will the YouTube upload of this presentation be? Brandon Jones.
59 minutes and 10 seconds.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Be tight.
57-24.
Ooh.
Okay, I like it. I'm taking the under here. 38 minutes.
Whoa.
Oh.
Short and sweet, all killer, no filler.
Whoa, I'm the biggest.
And Jones is the biggest because I said
Sweet.
46 minutes and 6 seconds.
Jones has got it.
Wow.
Let me lock
the under,
those
though. I
in.
got the under for us.
So I think that's cool because we just have no idea. What this
Yeah.
means is we have no idea how long this thing is going to be.
Right.
It's pretty exciting.
Especially because the thing the next day where they're really going to deep dive into the games.
You're right. It could be the Huber might win this. It could be super short. They could be done in a half hour.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's gonna be 20 minutes long. We're all gonna hate it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
No,
for the bets, but I
there's
hope
way
it's like 3
more.
hours.
Like
Yeah.
they do have a lot of ground to cover, but they don't have to go. Again, they don't have to go that deep in individual games, but they will probably talk about every game.
the most
They will
in-depth-
talk about a lot of specs. They will talk about however this thing is going to get sold. They're going to talk about price. They're going to talk about release date. They're going to do a whole lot of big vision pitching stuff, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Honestly, they need to spend 10 minutes on their store and where purchases go and
Yeah,
all those
UI.
things. Yeah.
For
And
sure.
then another 15 minutes on the
Although, I
history
mean, they might not
and
go that much in.
future of Metroid. Like, here's what we did. Here's what we learned.
Yeah, maybe.
We're making the switch.
One of my bets was, will Metroid be spoken? And I really don't think it will be. I really don't think anyone's
I
going
want
to
to
say
know more
that
about the
word
guy
out
and
loud.
his dog. I want him to come out like that FIFA athlete who came out who's like, I got big dreams.
Oh yeah.
I want the guy to come out with his dog and
What
be
guy
like,
with his dog?
I've had this. The guy from the trailer. The first guy
Oh,
with
the
his dog.
opening guy, Zelda
He'd
guy.
talk about his experience.
Yeah.
When I first got the Switch, Barney here wasn't really cool with it, but he's got to spend more time with me while I'm playing video games. But like,
I remember spending some time in my New York City apartment.
yeah.
I looked down at my friends. They were having a good time. And I thought, you know what? I should bring my Switch over there to them. I remember when I was playing basketball with 3 of my friends. We were taking turns while we waited for the baskets. And you know what? We thought of some time for some NBA 2K16. Okay.
I was driving on LA freeway and there was bumper to bumper traffic. So I said, I'll pass the time.
Play some Hearthstone.
You know,
Put it on my
actually,
Switch.
The Switch exclusive Hearthstone.
one thing I wonder that there's all kinds of weird little questions they're gonna have to address, right? Like battery life. But tied to that, like if you take it with you, then what kind of charge? Like you need an extra charger aside from the dock.
No. Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
You absolutely do.
You're not gonna take that dock in your backpack.
Yeah,
on a
I'm
flight,
assuming
are
it has
you?
a direct charger.
Yeah.
Again, this will all be worthless Friday, so I don't like to dig into it too much.
Hope there's a car charger.
There's no car chargers.
Somebody will make a car charger.
Oh, I mean, there's
one
the
way or
car
another.
pole. They showed a car pole, a special product that
You
attaches
screw
your,
it into the
so
seat.
absolutely.
Excellent.
Okay, so last week's bet. We had a bet about Hatsune Miku Project Diva Future Tone.
Which apparently is the best Hatsune Miku game ever, if people on the forums would believe.
Because, well, yeah, not just them. We went to OpenCritic's top 10 most recent reviews. How many times will I see the word Miku outside of the game's title was the bet. But yeah, as I counted these, I was like, wow, these reviews are really good. People are into Hatsune Miku Project Diva Future Tone. Apparently pretty good.
Is Ben into it?
He's got it.
I don't
know
think any
if
of us have,
been-
like,
how
started
much he's
it
been
yet.
playing it.
It's-
If it wasn't on Frame Trap, I thought he was going to talk about Frame Trap with that length, but
We have a strangely busy January. I don't know how this happened. January is normally like the month off. So, Jones, you bet there would be 2 instances of Miku outside of the game's title. Brad bet 12. Ian bet 16. I bet 25. And I gotta tell you something. I had some conflict because sometimes it would say Miku games. If you're a fan of Miku games, I actually counted that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's referring to Miku as the game series. It's referring to Miku as the game's title. If it said, and if you've played any Miku games before, I had to count that against the bet, and I couldn't count those. Still, there were 42 instances of the word Miku outside of the game's title. It'd be Miku and her friends. There was a song called I'll Miku You. They're like, there's 2 right there.
Good bet.
Yeah, great.
Good
Well,
bet.
who knew? There'd be
yeah.
that many Mikus.
Well, not me for sure.
So
I did not know.
that is the first point of the new year. That is the first point for the Red Eagles, who now have 1. And the Purple Platypi have 0. That was really good.
That's
Humor.
what it sounds like? I didn't know what it sounds like.
Oh yeah,
Pack 'em up.
He didn't train.
Do it one more time, bud.
it's like a cooing growl.
Yes.
Okay.
You're both so good.
I mean,
like that
basically,
sound.
basically
I'm
the
getting
no-
intimidated by these platypi. What?
they basically just growl. They're like that's all they really do. Is they
but it's
growl at
such
each
a
other.
it's a cute growl.
A cooing growl.
A cooing growl.
That's inspirational right there.
Before we wrap up the show, we should talk about patreon.com/easyallies. We are Easy Allies. This is the Easy Allies podcast. How we subsist is patreon.com. If you would like to support us, it's definitely worth checking that out and seeing what we can do for you and what you can do for us, basically. Much like a Kickstarter, there are different tiers, and the more you give us, the more we try to give back to you. If you are $5 or more a month, for instance, you get this podcast early. You get it on Wednesdays as opposed to Fridays.
Before the Switch event
Yeah.
versus after the Switch event.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal for some people.
It is.
Actually, yeah, I mean, there was some Switch
Outdated.
speculation. Against all of my efforts, we did speculate still. So yeah, you get that before everybody knows about it. So yeah, that was, that's basically it. I mean, also you get to submit love and respect at that tier. So stuff like that. And, you know,
But it's like it's weird because like we say it, but like sometimes it's just like I don't know that it always sinks in. Like it's like no, for real. Like you are paying for this. You know, like it's like this is how this works. Like this is how we're able to continue to do this.
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we are always very appreciative of that. Yeah. It's almost, I mean, we're coming up to a year. It's weird to be 2017 and doing Easy Allies. It feels really, really good, to be honest.
It was interesting. I heard a story on the radio today where somebody called like magazines that like try to rely on ad revenue as like being like outdated. Like they really thought that like magazines need to up their subscription prices because like that's the only way that they're going to be able to survive. Mm-hmm. So Yeah. So think of it that way. Think of it like a magazine subscription in a way.
Oh, think of Easy Allies as a magazine
Yeah.
subscription. Yeah, I mean, I would listen to more Easy Allies than I would read a magazine in a particular month.
PC Gamer still coming to my house.
Oh my god, I used to EGM. I used to just tear through it. I used to read every preview, even like about NCAA football games. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'll read it.
Yeah.
Video game coming up. I'll read those words.
Yep.
Oh my god, they would. They
On
would
your
last.
second read through, you'd have like two read throughs. First read through would be like all the prime stuff.
Oh yeah.
Go through, get the heavy hitters.
I'm not reading the letters to the editor. I'm not
No.
looking at the fan art.
Yeah.
Skip.
Then second time through, it's like NCAA football. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll read it this time.
Little fan mail? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Every bit of Nintendo power for me. So yeah, I mean, even had a. I didn't even think I knew what it was called, but like I even had like a document, like an index, where like I went through and like any particular game that was mentioned, like I would write it down.
Oh, so today would be an Excel sheet, basically.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
so cool.
So
And
like I could go to that sheet and find like every issue in Nintendo Power that game was mentioned in.
That's genius. That's so cool.
It was like 13 or 14.
Yeah. But if something's coming up and you're like, where have I heard of this game before? Oh yeah, that issue, and then you could go back to that issue. That's pretty cool. And the bindings always created a character.
Oh, well, not always, but they definitely had those years that they did that.
Yeah, that's cool. How can we be? That should be our goal. How can we be as good as video game magazines used to be?
Right.
That's like what
All
that's
right,
on my.
that's 2017.
Yeah, that's on my board. That's on my vision
Very
board.
good,
Just
good.
pages of VGM.
Yeah.
Okay, so because the Red Eagles have won the bet, I have the right and responsibility to share my Twitter handle. I get to promote any Easy Allies video I should choose. I get the last word on anything I've disagreed with or want to reiterate. And I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. It's been a while since I won a bet.
It has, actually. This feels new and fresh.
Yeah.
So Brandon Jones carried you basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he made up a large portion of those points.
Really
Absolutely.
early on. Like I had like a 6-week run. It
Yeah.
was just glorious.
Shooting on
So
Vegas.
we'll see.
sounds.
We'll see what happens.
It's all video game bets. I don't think they let you do a lot of those in Vegas. So my Twitter handle is @KyleBossman, and I'm actually tweeting again.
Yeah.
I'm back on Twitter.
Congratulations.
Doing your
Yep.
crunches.
Hiatus is over. Doing my crunches. That's a weird reference to Huber started Twitter, and it's just like, this sucks. Why would you
'Cause
ever tweet?
I was very reluctant to start it.
Yeah.
I'm not big. I wasn't big on social media. Like I don't really do. I have Facebook, but I did it like once every couple months. Mm-hmm. Kyle was like, "You gotta do it. You gotta do your crunches.
Yeah. It's like doing your crunches.
You gotta have a tweet a day."
Yeah. I'm still not at a tweet a day. I still don't follow my own advice. And I'm certainly not doing crunches right now. I'll get back to it. 2017. Easy Eyes video. Please look at our analysis for the Nintendo Switch. Post or past. It's probably going to be worth checking out. So that'll all be posted on youtube.com/EasyAllies. We're going to be talking about it a lot. We're clearly very excited to talk about it. There's going to be huge things happening, clearly. It is going to be our console launch. Easy Allies is going to go through a console launch together. And we were kind of together for like the PS4 launch and the Xbox One launch, but it wasn't the same back at
Right.
Game Trailers at that time.
Right. Yeah, that was before everything went down, yeah.
Yeah. And so now like we're just like this group of friends launching a console together. I'm so pumped about this.
Pure hope.
It's a
Pure
huge
hype.
deal. Yeah. If you think like, oh, Switch, blah, like, just think of this historically, everybody. It's it's a Nintendo console. Oh boy.
High stakes.
I'm worked up. Yeah.
But do you remember though when we did go through that PS4 Xbox launch and we had the whole like boxing ring intro?
Oh, the CG stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that graphic was really cool too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had some high
We
budget
did a
stuff
whole
back
lot
at
of
GT.
videos for those launches.
Yeah. Didn't save the site. Let us live a little longer. It did.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it basically started Final Bossman, so.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That was survived for quite a bit.
I just remember a meeting with one of my bosses where it's just like, yeah, we are. It was about GTTV in particular. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do fewer episodes. We're having a harder time getting sponsors, but the new consoles are coming up, and with that, a lot of success for us will come. And it's like, well, no. Like we've seen this before when the Xbox 360 and PS3 launched. We had a spike. It didn't spike as high. Weird. Why would I share that on a podcast?
Easy Allies is going to be around for a really long time. Tune into our Nintendo Switch coverage.
Because that's the thing, though. It's like we're not reliant on that.
Yeah.
It's just so strange and nice to be still in the industry, but like this different part of it. we're sucking off a different tube, basically.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, like I imagine us like this little space parasite. Yeah, like, and like we're on a huge spaceship, and we're like, we got gassed off, and so we're just moving to a different part of the spaceship, and we just tapped in.
God, that is so weird and freaky.
We found this tube.
God, Minox chewing on the power cables, man.
So freaky.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Weird
I
visual.
think I'll stick with the magazine analogy. Good.
My final word is that Mario Galaxy 2 is not that good. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
It's great. It's a bunch of great video game levels. You don't have to play it if you've played through Galaxy 1. And my trademark sign off. Tomorrow is forever all ours.